Back in 2019, I made my first post on my Art with Cat Instagram account. Then, in 2020, I drew the same thing again and posted the progress on my feed. And then again, I did the same thing last year in 2021. And now, you guessed it, it's time for another redraw. So, back in 2019, I found a random picture of a beautiful girl on Pinterest and I decided to draw it on my sketchbook. And I liked the results, so I posted it on Instagram. And I'm just redrawing the same photo because it was my first post. Otherwise, I don't think that I would be redrawing this one. I don't think this is a really nice reference, especially for beginners, and I was a beginner in 2019. I don't think the reference that I'm using is the best reference picture because it doesn't really have distinct shadow shapes. It doesn't really have any shadows at all, actually. It's a picture of a beautiful girl with really soft shadows on her face. Like the darkest shadows are in her eyes, nostrils, and a little bit on her hair. The face doesn't really have anything, so you can start from there and depend on that to create shapes on the face. And I think that if I found that picture now, I wouldn't even be drawing it. Because now that I've learned how to use reference better and how to choose better references, I can understand that this is not the best reference picture. And again, especially for a beginner, which I was when I first drew that. I'm just keep choosing this one because it was my first post and I think it's kind of symbolic. But even now, after 4 years, I still find it kind of hard to draw the specific picture. I find it a lot easier now, obviously, but I think it's not the easiest picture to draw. And I wouldn't have chosen it. Anyways, going into this piece this year, I was really nervous because I really liked last year's result and I was still satisfied with it, and I still am. I still like how it turned out. Maybe it's not the best in terms of capturing her likeness. I mean, it doesn't really look like the person in the photo. It's just a beautiful girl, and I used the reference to help me with creating a better drawing. But it doesn't really look like the model. But that's not something that has stopped me before. This happens a lot with my drawings. If you've seen any of my other videos, you probably have heard me talking about that. I'm saying I like the drawing and it kind of reminds me of the model or the person, but it doesn't really look like them. So yes, that's a common issue with my drawings. But otherwise, I really like the drawing. So I was really nervous that this year the drawing is not gonna be so good and you won't see any improvement. Like if you put the two pictures side by side and make an Instagram post or something, like the first year that I did this challenge. That year, back then, the improvement was so obvious, and this post kind of blew up actually on Instagram and it got so many likes and I got many followers after that because the difference was really impressive. I had improved so much in that year, and that was kind of the reason that I started doing this challenge, because I knew that I have improved so much and I wanted to see how much, and I wanted to show other people that look how much I've improved in 1 year. But back then I was really trying to improve on my portraits every day. I was just opening my sketchbook and drawing for hours a day. And I had so much time back then, so I just was drawing all of the time. And I really tried to improve my portraits. I was watching videos on how to draw better portraits for beginners, and I did the 100 heads in 10 days challenge, and I was actively trying to improve, and I think I've stopped doing that because I like how my portraits look right now, so I'm just drawing. I'm not really trying to improve every single day. Most of the days I'm just opening my sketchbook and having fun, or drawing to post something, and I don't know if I'm improving as fast as I did back then. Plus, I think it's easier to improve if you are a beginner artist and become an intermediate, then needs to become a pro, obviously. Like, you're gonna stay an intermediate artist for a lot more years than you're gonna be a beginner. You can't be a beginner forever. Actually, I was nervous last year too to go into this challenge because I really thought that the results that I had in the second year in 2020 was so good that there's no way I could top that. But I did last year. I think the improvement there is actually very obvious too. But another reason that I was so scared both of the years, this year and last year, is because both years I took a long break from art. Like this year, this summer, I barely touched my sketchbook all summer, so I thought that this would show in my art. And it kinda does. The improvement, as you see in the end, there is some improvement, but it's not huge. And both years, I was feeling the pressure of this challenge because the stakes were higher these years. First year that I did it, it was more for fun, and I knew that the improvement would be there. But last year and this year, I really thought that I'm gonna show how much I'm failing at art. And it's really scary to see that you haven't improved, because I'm kind of trying to make a living out of my art. So if you just stay still and not improve for 2 years, there's a problem with that. You're never gonna become good enough. At least that's how I have it in my brain. And I really wanted to see some improvements, not so much to show the world, just to show myself that, hey, you're improving without you trying constantly every day. So yeah, I think this really didn't help me while I was drawing, because if you're constantly nervous and anxious when you're drawing, the drawing won't be the best. If you just let loose and just enjoy yourself in the process, I think it's gonna be a better piece overall, and you're gonna have more fun drawing. And I think this is very important if you wanna have a consistently nice art. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, then why you do it? In this year's drawing, because I was really satisfied with last year's, as I said before, and I really liked the style, I tried to go a bit different and try to capture her likeness more, because I didn't just want to have another good drawing. I wanted to really try and capture her likeness. This was gonna be a challenge for me, not just have a beautiful portrait. I like the way that I draw my portraits. I even liked last year's, so this wouldn't be a challenge for me to have a beautiful portrait of a girl, especially. A challenge would be to try and capture her likeness. So that's what I did, and I was trying really hard for that. I even at some point erased everything that I have down and started again, 10 minutes into the drawing. By the way, this drawing took me around 1 hour and 10 minutes or something. So yeah, around the 10 minutes mark, I just erased everything because I didn't like how it was turning out, and I didn't think it looked like her. So I wanted to start again. And I think it was the right thing to do, because after that, I really tried to pay attention to where the features were and the relationships between every feature. I was really trying this time hard, because most of the times when I'm just drawing from a reference, I don't really try to capture the likeness of the person. But this time I was just looking every shadow, little shadow, because as I said before, the shadows are not really there in this picture. So I was trying to see every little detail that I can correct so it can look a little bit more like the model. And I think I kinda did a good job on that. I think it really looks like the model this time. I can see some things that I could improve, but I think it looks a lot like the model, and it kinda gave me a little bit more confidence in my portraits, because I always thought that I'm not good at trying to capture the likeness of a person, so I shouldn't even take commissions or something like that, because I can't do it. Why should I deceive a person and try to say that, hey, yeah, I can draw you, and then I can't? So right now I'm thinking, hey, if I put a little bit more work into it and a little bit concentration, maybe I can capture the likeness of everyone, you know? So that's a good thing. And especially if I put more time into it, because 1 hour is a really short time to just do a perfect drawing, you know? I set this limit for myself just because I was recording with my phone and it was almost out of storage, and I didn't want to have to stop drawing and transfer all my files into my computer, then continue drawing. I wanted to finish the piece in one sitting because that's what I do with most of my pieces. But I think that I should stop doing it. It's not the best for my work, especially if I'm trying to film and I have only 1 hour to do everything that I want to do. Because if you take a break and then get back to the drawing, you have a new perspective of things. You can see some mistakes that you might not be able to see if you're looking too closely. But you take a break, take a step back, and you can see new things that you didn't before, and you can correct them. A downside of taking a break between the drawing is that you're not so warm when you get back. You get out of the flow that you have when you're drawing. So I don't really know what the best plan is after all. But I think that the more time you spend on a drawing, if you're not overworking it, the better it will come out in the end. Another thing that helped me do a better job this time, I think it was that in a recent video I found out, what a great discovery, that if you do some drawings, some sketches before your bigger drawing of the same subject, and you study the subject and just warm up with a few sketches, then you'll do a better job at the final one. Mind-blowing, right? And that's what I did. I did 2 sketches, 5 minutes top combined, so I can study the image a little bit and warm up. And then I started with this drawing. These sketches were really bad, but they really helped me, I think, because in order to be able to complete them in such a limited time, I had to oversimplify some of the features of the drawing. It helped me put down some really basic shadows or shapes that helped me in the drawing afterwards. For example, a feature that I had problem with in every other drawing except this year was her nose. I don't know why, but I really had a hard time drawing her nose. Maybe it's because it's so soft and there's no so much shadow, but I don't know, I really had a hard time drawing it. So in the warm-up sketches, I just put a shadow on her nose and it just helped me understand the shape of her nose for some reason. It was a simple shadow, but it really helped me. And because of the sketches, I think that I got the direction that the model is looking better and the perspective a little bit. So yeah, who would have thought that doing some sketches before and studying your subject will be helpful? By the way, this is the 3rd time that I'm trying to do this voiceover, and I had so many technical difficulties, and it's always like that. I'm doing one video that everything goes smoothly, and then the next video everything is messed up. Everything breaks or there's a weird sound in the background. I don't know, something will go wrong. So this is one of these videos. I'm trying to get a video out every Friday, but it's already Thursday and I'm still doing the voiceover. Plus, this week was snowing here in Greece, so I procrastinated a lot. I wanted to just go outside and play with the snow, or go for a coffee with my friends, or read a good book, because the weather was so nice. Not nice, but I really like snow. So yeah, I had a hard time with this video. So if you're still watching, thank you so much. That means a lot, you know? I was thinking that maybe I'll take a break next year from this challenge, because it's just giving me anxiety at this point. It doesn't really show me how much I've improved. It just gives me anxiety that I have to keep getting better and better every year. And it's just, how much better can I be at this drawing? I've drawn it so many times now. I think I might take a break, but I don't know, I have a whole year to decide. Or maybe that I will redraw some other old art that I have, maybe a digital portrait or something, because I haven't done anything digital in so long, so I better get back at that. In the past, I used to avoid blending stuff so much, because everyone was saying every good artist know that you shouldn't be using blending stamps and stuff like that on YouTube or on Instagram, but that's not right. First of all, Like, there are not rules at art. If you overuse blending stabs, yes, maybe the result is not gonna be the best because everything will be blurry and you need some contrast in your piece. But I found a way to use them and have great results, in my opinion, obviously. But I'm just blocking everything, just passing with the blending stab the whole drawing lightly and creating an even layer of the same light gray color. And use this as a base. If I want something to be lighter than that, I can just erase it, but it's a great starting point to have. Or I'm just using it to block bigger shapes that need to be darker. For example, her hair. I'm just going in with the pencil first and then blending everything out to have an even color in the hair. And then going back on top because I don't want to leave everything blurry. I'm just going back on top with my pencils. And I think it creates depth in the drawing, it creates great texture, it doesn't leave harsh lines unless you want to go again with harsher lines on top, but I think it gives a nice result in the end. But I can understand why everybody is saying like don't use blending stabs, especially in beginners, because you can easily have bad results if you just blend everything and not have any contrast in your piece or any definition and leave everything blurry. Like if I just made her whole hair just with a blending stab, it wouldn't be a nice result. So when I finished the piece and organized every drawing that I did of this reference in a line, I saw the drawing from last year and I was like, this is way cuter than this year's. I don't like this year's at all. And I was really disappointed because I was already in that mindset that I didn't improve and everything that I do now is bad. And when I saw the drawing from last year, I was right, this is way better. But now that I've been looking at it for a while, like I compared these two and I can clearly see that this year's is better, or at least that's my opinion. I don't know what you think, but I think that this year's is definitely an improvement. Last year's is cute and it has a great style, but first, it doesn't look like the model at all, and second, I can see some anatomical mistakes, like her face is a bit crooked from the one side and her jaw is weird, but it's still a nice drawing. But I think that definitely this year's is better. Maybe next year I'm gonna see this year's drawing and be like, this is the worst, but for now I think I have improved. I'm happy to announce that. And it's weird that I thought, when I first saw it, that I thought the opposite. But I'm glad that as the time goes by and I can see these two and compare them again, I like this year's better. What do you think? I don't know if you agree or not. Just tell me in the comments which year you prefer. And you can find the whole improvement obviously on my Instagram. I always link my social media in the description. And just because you stayed until the end of the video, I have to show you my warm-up sketches. This is the first one, and this is the second one. This took me like 5 minutes total or something like that. And weirdly, I think this kind of captured her likeness. Like, it's bad. It's a bad sketch, but yeah. So yeah, this is the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave a like or maybe subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of me and my art. And I really hope I'll see you in the next one. Bye!